every periodical. Yeah, I know that this is picture of her daughter Jane Doe Roottree, the first and only mention of the phrase Anonymom in Newsstand came out the week after when they issued an apology for featuring her in the first place. Some of the initial cover articles, yeah, okay, we got that. You know what?
Do we have a
we do.
tabloid?
We do. It's right here.
Well, that's Newstime Weekly. Is that a tabloid? Or is that
Oh, no.
a legitimate
That's a
publication?
Legitimate.
Oh, the one with the fish is the tabloid. Piketty?
Yeah. Piketty is not afraid to expose details that other publications would. Shortly after the announcement that Jane Doe Roottree was not a Roottree, Piketty exposed personal details about the story of Anonymom under the headline Anonymom the Anonicon. They said Anonymom worked as a manager at a department store in North Carolina and her daughter's name was Courtney May. They also said that the woman that vouched for her famous cover story, they didn't identify in news time, perhaps to avoid being sued, is named Corinne S.
Ooh,
there we go.
There's a Corinne in the
secretaries, yeah.
Yeah.
And that she had filed for bankruptcy. The article speculates that Anonymom and Corinne were in on it together.
Oh.
And even speculates that they might have been lovers.
Oh, scandalous.
Piketty is not a credible publication. Their information wasn't particularly actionable. Very few people seemed to notice or care. Okay. Courtney May. Now, here we are. What was I going to look for? Okay. Corinne S. is... Corinne Schwartz.
There she is, 1978.
Beatrice Watts. There was something that we saw about Beatrice Watts at some point. Or something that, like, I remember seeing that, mentioning the two women that came on at the same time. How is this? Alright, so this is definitely Corinne Schwartz.
No, Corinne Schwartz was the
Oh, yeah, wait.
corroborating collaborator.
That's right. Let me bring that up.
If anything, it was Anonymom is probably Beatrice.
I don't want to vouch for her famous cover story.
Named Corinne S. Corinne had filed for bankruptcy. The article speculates that Anonymom
and Corinne were in on it together, and even speculates that they might have been lovers. Okay, yeah, so that it's Beatrice Watts. What did that do anything for? No, that didn't do anything for that one. That's not right. Okay, so Beatrice Watts. This is Beatrice Watts.
very likely.
All right.
I know we had some information that Sam gave us about her experience dealing with Anonymom.
Yeah. I think it was... Oh, it's... appearing in interviews with her face and voice disguised, she claimed that an affair with a Roottree led to the birth of her daughter, aka Jane Doe Roottree. If true, this would make her daughter yet another... Nobody knew it at the time, but this would turn out to be the last chapter in the Roottree saga. As more and more of Anonymom's story came out, people began to notice how much it echoed 5Ps in nearly every significant way. The court of public opinion began to turn, confirming the world's suspicions. The DNA test, orchestrated by lawyers on both sides, proved that her daughter was not a Roottree. The final event caused public disappointment, smugness from doubters, and countless accusations of the entire ordeal being an elaborate hoax or attempt at fraud. Things got a bit ugly, and the fun of Roottree mania seemed to disappear overnight. Now, a month later, it feels like a distant memory. Okay. We did look into the Roottree rift quite a bit. I remember there's being something about one of the mentioning that the two secretaries came out at the same time and that we were looking into it.
Yeah.
I'm just trying.
Well, let's look at the not that. Let's look at the Anonymom news article.
Yeah.
Not a Roottree. This article came out before all that, right around the time of her first TV interview. This is a summary. The anonymous woman appeared on the cover shortly after 5Ps was confirmed to be a member. In homage to the previous cover, she also holds a photo of her daughter. Unlike 5Ps, she wished to remain anonymous, and both photos were obscured. The anonymous woman claims to have had an affair with Guy Hudson while she was his secretary. She and another woman were hired at the same time. Okay, Corinne Schwartz, yeah. During a transition period, while many of the secretaries that had worked under Zach Morden were already gone. She says that she and the other woman were both underqualified as neither had typewriter experience. According to the other staff members interviewed, Guy had his own requirements for hiring women. Guy Hudson liked to throw lavish parties, and the longer he was president, the more excuses he found. The anonymous woman posits that these parties mostly seem to have been an excuse to have after parties at Guy's home, featuring much more alcohol and other substances. She claims she slept with him at one of these after parties. She confronted Guy when she found out she was pregnant. Guy didn't seem fazed, and they came to an arrangement. He paid her a significant amount of hush money on a recurring basis under the table. She used it to move away and start a new life with her daughter. Okay, yeah. When Guy died, the money stopped coming. That's right. And she assumed things had run their course. She went back to work at the department store and hoped that nobody would ever look too closely at how she paid for her house. She told everyone that her daughter's father walked out one day and never came back. She claimed that after seeing the fantastic article in News Time, she realized that she wasn't the only one this happened to. Well, she never worked at the Roottree company at the same time as 5P's mother, Joanna. Their stories seemed eerily similar, and she knew Joanna was telling the truth right away. Okay, when did Joanna work? Like, when did, who did we decide this was? Beth?
Let's, where is it? There we go. Joanna Robertson is no longer listed amongst the secretaries, but Joanna Fellows, yeah, so secretaries, she was there since 1975, and then Beatrice came out in 1978.
Okay, Beatrice. Yeah. So there's no way they would have crossed paths.
Right. We also know that this is Courtney May. Let's just put Courtney May in right now. Watts, I guess.
Probably Watts, yeah.
Okay. You know, let's look up Courtney May Watts.
Okay.
No! 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 Hey, there we go. Courtney May has a simple website with black text on a white background and a few images. From the view counter, you could tell you're one of only a few hundred people who have visited it. She's not shy about claiming she is Jane Doe Roottree. As proof, she has posted an unobscured cover from the time she was featured on News Time, as well as a different picture of herself that appears to be a wedding photo. The website seems to be created in defense of her mother, who has been the target of public scrutiny. Under the headline, The True Story of Jane Doe Roottree, courtesy of Courtney May Newton, formerly Watts, Courtney May writes, "Everyone has everything wrong. My mom approached the Roottrees before 5Piece was ever on the cover of News Time. Nobody at the Roottree company took us seriously. They only listened to us after we appeared on TV and in magazines." The site has a scanned letter from the Ruby Legal Group to Courtney May's mother, Beatrice. In very polite legal terms, it seems to accuse her of exploiting their name and orders her to leave the Rootrees alone. It's dated from a few weeks before the 5P's article appeared in News Time, and it seems legitimate.
Yeah. I don't think 5P's is a Roottree.
Yeah, I think
fucking Ruby over here falsified that record.
Yeah, they're working together because they were probably both in the same orphanage or something. Courtney May also discusses her mother's magazine feature in more detail. "Do you know how difficult it was to convince anyone to tell our story? My mom didn't want to show her face because everyone in the media we approached assumed she was lying. Because her story was just like 5P's, but my mom's story was first. Mom was advised by Ryan and Cork to tell News Time that seeing 5P's on the cover was what inspired her to go public. That's the only way News Time would agree to it and help her get on TV. But it's not true. Our story was first. Huh. Courtney's defense continues, but much of it seems repetitive and useless. Towards the end of her page, she discusses the DNA test and defends her mother's character. My mom is amazing. She's the nicest woman in the world. She has diabetes and works at a department store, but still managed to help pay for my apartment in the big city so that I could stay with my high school sweetheart. I got a degree in nursing, so I learned about DNA in college, but I'm beginning to think it's all a lie. Mom is 100% confident that there's nobody else who could be the father. Either they did the test wrong, or DNA is complete BS. She is not a liar.
The Ruby, a lawyer, could certainly be a liar.
Courtney and Danny.
Cute. You went to nursing school, I think she said?
Yeah. Aha.
And there's Beatrice. A blonde.
Okay, well this is... And then this is... We can just do that and her. Possible Roottree. Are we still missing one of them? I'm pretty sure she's a Roottree.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go, and I'm gonna... You are not a Roottree, sir. Oh, we're still missing 2.
Well, he could be.
Might be a Roottree. I don't think that he is.
We need to go back to Joanna's history.
Okay. Real quick, though, I just want to... Let's
finish this up.
So we know that she does... she's retail.
Yeah.
And she is...
Nursing, I think?
Nurse. And what was his name? Davey?
Danny? Dan.
You sure?
I think so.
I thought
it was not Davey.
You're right. It's Dan something. Where's the...
Daniel Newton. Newton.
Nope, that isn't it.
That's Cricket.
That's Cricket. It's your cat.
It's my cat.
Danny. Okay, Danny Newton. Right? That's what it said?
Yeah, Dan.
Okay. No, but it was the last name that I'm... Oh, it was over here. Newton. Yeah, Danny Newton. So Daniel Newton. And boom. All right.
There he is.
All right. So this is pretty much done, I would say.
Yeah, I think we're good on that.
But this definitely sheds light on what's going on over here. So we need... Okay. So just for my sake, he's locked in. We got everything. We found everything here.
What does the little piece of paper say about how many we have left to figure out?
2. It's the Robbie and Ron.
Oh God, that's right. Okay.
I just want to see, like, we've got everything for her. We're still missing one for them, but I'm relatively certain that we've got everything there.
Yeah.
We got everything.
I have a hard time thinking of a way for one additional piece of information to disprove the pieces of info that we do have.
Exactly. Okay. You know,
we need
some
two more.
Some of these are intertwined.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if these fucking guys have something to do with it. You know what? Hey, you know what? We did this. We're going to look up Ronnie Roottree. It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Ronnie Roottree. Is it? Maybe it's Ron Roottree.
Yeah, one of them is a criminal. Yeah.
Yes. And yeah, Hillary, if you want to look up just what that one piece of evidence that we're missing for those 2 boys, I would not mind, because I'm pretty locked in on that one. But okay, yeah, Ron was announced as president of Roottree during the Roottree Rift, but the next press release immediately. Okay. 3 weeks ago, Ron's mother, Gwen, died in Paris, France. He and his brother, Robbie, have seemingly made amends. Robbie, what the fuck are you up to? He was released from French prison after serving a few years for assault. His embezzlement and arrest were partially featured in 6 pieces, as Robbie's participation in the Clansett Trust was a key piece of evidence in Sam's favor, and have since become much more publicly infamous. He has not yet returned to the United States, but when journalists reached out to him recently after the death of his mother, he had issued a blanket statement a few days ago. The death of my mother was hard on our family. My brother and I, after spending time together caring for her and mourning, have finally made amends. It was a highly transformative few weeks when it came to our relationship. I'm in recovery from my addiction, and a major aspect of that process is that I wish to stay private. Alright. It was Gwen Roottree, right?
Yeah.
Was their mother?
Yes.
Except that was announced that she died peacefully in her sleep while being treated for a sudden, severe case of pneumonia. Before that, she had apparently been in relatively good health. Huh. Huh. Seemingly innocuous at first glance, but now that we're kind of like re-examining this,
Yeah.
kind of makes you think, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Transformative, you're right, Sakura.
Yeah. Transformative.
Okay. Cricket has exited the building. I must once again close my bedroom door.
Bye, Cricket. Alright, so where the fuck do we go with these guys?
Okay.
Okay. You know what? Hold on. There's probably a bunch of periodicals on these guys.
Yeah.
So, let's
Oh, if we want to do the Two Kitchen Brothers, if we want to just clean that up, search for Kitchen Tales in the Butler County Times.
Steve Garland is mentioned in a couple of articles. The first was an article about how he met his wife Christine when he worked at Antonelli's. The second is from months later in September of 1978. A listing for his weekend cooking classes, Gourmet for the Groovy.
Oh, God.
I love this man.
Yeah, the Garlands are very wholesome.
Yeah, the blurb mentions that he's been giving lessons from his home kitchen for the last month, so he can keep an eye on his son. The third was from 1991 and is titled Local Author Sued by Former Butler County Resident. It seems that a local author by the name of Mark Zimmer was sued by Garland after Garland saw Zimmer promoting his book Kitchen Tales on television. His recipe book was partially plagiarized from the recipes that Steve Garland would give his students during his cooking lessons before he moved. The article mentions that although recipes are hard to copyright, Garland accompanied each recipe with a short fiction about how he learned it. These usually doubled as a way to remember certain ingredients. Garland's bean salad, for example, involved making a trade with a gnome for some magic beans. Apparently, these stories were found word for word in Zimmer's cookbook in addition to additional stories that follow the same format. Okay. And that doesn't really change anything, but just to make sure.
Yeah, that should just finish things up for our nice, wholesome Garlands.
Boom, done.
Boom.
Perfect.
Okay, great.
Right. Now we're going to go back to the periodicals. We're going to look up Business Watch. We're going to look up Ron Roottree. Business Watch ran an article about 2 months after the Roottree rift about what really happened with Roottree. The article mentions that nobody from Roottree that they reached out to was willing to go on the record. Instead, the timeline of events has been constructed from public record, accidental leaks, and a source on the inside. The only parts that are new to you are the most vague parts, the ones supposedly confirmed by their anonymous source. Timeline says that the family... Okay, I remember this.
Yeah, this is how they got Ron to be president, but then it was like, maybe Ron is a bad choice.
Yeah. Okay. Butler County Times. No. Chef's Signature. No. The Herald. The Miami Mercury. Modern Music Monthly.
Oh. News Time.
News Time. You bitch. Pico Tea. Come on.
Pico Tea. Come on, tabloid.
The Portland Telegraph. Silver Screen Magazine. Oh, this is an old one.
Old one, yeah.
Starlit. Teen Blast.
Teen Blast.
And Telephoto. Okay. You know who I bet is in the tabloid, though? His brother.
Robbie.
His shitty brother.
The shitty brother.
You son of a bitch!
How dare.
Okay, this is the same thing. Butler County Times. The Herald. Miami Mercury. Modern Music Monthly. News Time. Come on, guys. Where's the dirt?
Give us the deets. We need the filthy deets.
Yeah. From the self-taught television screener, Robbie Roottree was allegedly tried and convicted in the name of Robert in a French court of law.
Embezzled, fled to Paris, where he grew up.
Let's do Robert. Oh, you know what? Let's do just Robert for funsies. See if it comes up. Because that's what he was tried as.
Yeah.
You son of a bitch. Let me go back to Robbie for the rest of these real quick. T-Blast. No. Okay, let's go back up to Robert.
I can't believe Teen Blast keeps letting us down like this.
It's really discouraging.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to dig into the mother more once I went through these two. But, alright, let's do... It was Gwyn. Okay, we know that. Herald. Chef's Signature. Miami Mercury. Modern Music Monthly. No. News Time. Come on. Piketty, give us something. Yeah, we know that. Starlit, I'm sure we already have. Yeah. This is all... That's all the same.
I wonder what would happen if we looked up Wild Bill. If there's any new... If he's been up to anything new since Gwen passed.
Let me, see if I want to clear this business here.
No.
Alright, let me... Wait, update Gwen Roottree. Oh, that's, she was in relatively good health.
Mm-hmm. Didn't it say something about how the brothers reconciled while they were taking care of her?
Robbie Roottree was released from French prison. He has not yet returned to the United States, but when journalists reached out to him recently after the death of his mother, he had issued a blanket statement a few days ago. The death of my mother was hard on our family. My brother and I, after spending time together caring for her and mourning, have finally made amends. It was a highly transformative few weeks when it came to our relationship. I'm in recovery from my addiction, and a major part of that process is that I wish to stay private.
What's the older version?
Yeah. Maybe it's due to the rumor about Robbie Roottree in Silver Screen magazine. Okay. Yeah, I want to look up Wild Bill.
Yeah. Wild Bull. Ooh.
Oh, this is a newer one.
This is new.
Wild Bill Williams, an actor known for his role in Fortune Favors the Grave, did not make an appearance at Gwen Roottree's funeral. Because of his absence, there were rumors online he must have already died, but according to a reporter that tracked him down, he's in his 70s, still lives in Paris, and is still in perfectly fine health. He even went on record as saying, I think it was Mark Twain who said, the rumors of my death have been greatly exaggerated. That seems appropriate today. The few years I spent with Gwen were just one stop along the very long and complicated journey that has been my life and career. The last time we spoke was when I signed the divorce papers. She asked me never to contact her or the kids again. I've always respected those wishes. They never reached out to me either, even as adults, so I have to assume they had some idea of why she hated me so much and the sacrifices she made on my behalf. I wish them well and am sorry for their loss, but we've all been strangers for 40 years, so I can confidently say they wouldn't have wanted me to be there. In fact, I'm confident my presence would have ruined it.
Oh, sounds like Wild Bill has done some growing up.
Yeah. Oh, well, Wild Bill. That.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what? What were their companies? Um, let's look into
It's
their.
like RR.
Yeah. We might have to go. There was something in the old evidence.
RR Productions.
RR Productions, was that it?
Yeah, that's what Hillary says.
Okay.
I trust Hillary.
Okay. RR Productions seems to have no project listed in development other than Guys Like Us remake. The Guys Like Us remake has been discussed a few times on a website about upcoming films called Movie News. The logo is a cow on a film canister. Hate it. The rumored cast is Cameron Diaz, and the role originated by Gwyn, Linda Fiorentino, and Chris O'Donnell. Wow, remember when Chris O'Donnell was an actor?
Yeah, I sure do.
According to leaked news, the remake has been put on indefinite hiatus due to its director, who is speculated to be Ron Roottree, dropping out in the wake of a serious medical issue, though that's only a rumor. You know what? Let's go do some periodical searching for RR
Productions.
RR Productions.
What if Robbie killed and replaced his twin? I think they're both still like around.
They're still alive.
Also, I don't think they're twins.
They're not.
That would be good though.
Everyone in this family is just generically attractive and white.
Yeah.
Come on, Piketty, you're failing me. You're supposed to be the tabloid.
Yeah, seriously. We're at the dirty deets, Piketty.
A small rumors article from 1992 that claims that self-taught television screenwriter Robbie Roottree was allegedly tried and convicted under the name Robert in a French court of law. Doesn't look like there's anything else.
Yeah, we've seen this one already.
Hey, Brother Trouble, let's see if this brings up anything new. No.
Nope.
Hi, Cricket.
Oh, hi, Cricket. He says hello.
She chirp.
Hi, baby. Why'd you open my door again? Why you gotta be like this?
Yeah, the original Guys Like Us, maybe.
You wanna come up here and talk to the microphone? Do you wanna talk to all the people? You wanna tell them all of your problems?
Here we go.
Your problems are that I'm not playing with you.
It's true. It was recently released for the first time on home video due to Roottree Mania. The time it took to manufacture and ship VHS copies of Guys Like Us meant that it missed the height of the craze, which only lasted a few weeks. Even so, it did sell modestly well, and there have been talks of a remake. Did that give us anything? Yep.
Yep.
Alright, we just need more. Looks like these are all updates.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we only need 4 more.
Like, they're definitely blood relatives, but
Yeah.
but I think they killed Gwyn.
Yeah, Cricket is fascinated by the medical issue. We definitely need to look in on that. Maybe look up the other actors.
Yeah. Leslie Florence was the other actress besides Gwyn Roottree in Guys Like Us. Before Guys Like Us, she was in a very few small supporting roles, and her performance in Guys Like Us was generally thought of as quite good, especially considering she got second billing to Gwyn. Even with the success and acclaim, she retired from Hollywood almost immediately after her co-starring role. Not much was known about her until recently when Guys Like Us was re-released right at the tail end of Roottree Mania. Recently, as part of the myriad of articles and research people have done into those surrounding the Rootrees, it came out that she died of a genetic disease known as Huntington's in the late 1960s.
Oh.
Harrison Lane.
Not to be confused with Harrison Ford.
No, this is the same. Nothing new there. Leslie Florence, that's a new one.
Yeah.
Alright, we need to... Can I can't select Gwen, of course.
Well, there's no question about whether or not she's related.
Right, no, but I wanted to see, like, what other things were, like, related to her.
Oh, Hillary's requesting you pull up Leslie Florence again.
Okay.
Yeah, why was that important? She seems so unrelated.
She died of a genetic disease known as Huntington's. You know what? Let's look up Huntington's. Huntington's is a neurodegenerative disease that most recognizably causes memory issues and uncontrollable movements in the limbs. After system onset, somewhere between age 30 and 50, those affected by Huntington's typically live another 15 to 18 years as their symptoms worsen. There is no cure. Huntington's is passed genetically from parent to child. The gene that causes Huntington's works in such a way that if a parent has the disease, there is a 50-50 chance that their child will get it. Huntington's cannot be passed on recessively, meaning it cannot skip a generation. In other words, if someone has a mother or father with Huntington's, but they themselves did not receive it from that parent, their children and their grandchildren and so on will also never have it. Why is this? Until the early 1990s, it was impossible to test for Huntington's. Instead, symptoms would usually appear later in life. This would often be after the person affected already had children. It would then be impossible to know if their children had it, as it was a 50-50 chance. In 1993, due to determining which gene causes Huntington's, it did become possible to test children for it and know if the disease was passed on or not. For a variety of complex reasons, however, children are considered unable to consent to such a test and are therefore very rarely tested unless they're showing early symptoms.
Wait, I'm sorry, what? Parents make decisions about like vaccinations and cold medication and shit all the time. Why can't they submit their children for testing if they're concerned about a genetic disease?
Huntington's is on their thing.
Why is Huntington's a clue?
What?
What?
Are they not Gwen's children?
Well, Loop is putting words in chat
Right.
and using tildes to indicate we should look into this more.
Yeah, I mean, obviously. They might be Leslie's children. I don't recall them... Well, no. They showed... One of the articles that they showed of Gwen said that she was pregnant. But did she ever
Pregnant with her second child. So with Robbie.
Right.
Right? Yeah, Ron is the older one.
Hold on, let's see something real quick. Starlight Gwen Roottree. Alright, let me do periodicals. Starlet. Wild Bill Williams. Okay. The first mentions one of his first roles in his name, Walter Forsythe. We're going to look that up in a second. As I mentioned her by name, you determine what to talk about. I'm actually taking it later. I did she was as though I met someone. She spent most of the film crying, but even though she was incredible, okay. Ironically, the third is a rumor that his divorce from Gwen was due to multiple affairs, including one with another actress. An American reader on vacation in Paris claims to have overheard Wild Bill and Gwen arguing in public while she was holding a baby and visibly pregnant. Not long after Gwen announced she was divorcing Wild Bill and that she was pregnant, again giving this rumor more credibility. So the first baby might not have been... Like, why would she have that baby? That's kind of confusing me.
Yeah.
What was that one actress's name? Leslie...
Leslie Florence.
Bullshit!
Yeah, Leslie Florence died in 1960, I think.
Yeah. When were they born? Like
The
maybe,
boys?
That's what I'm saying. Like maybe she died, and Gwen adopted the
Maybe.
oldest. The 1960s? Because this would have been in, like... Yeah, if she died in the 1960s, that... It's entirely possible that he's not a Roottree.
Yeah.
And wait a minute. He tried to get Robert kicked out.
Well, he might not know.
I mean, yeah, but if he did, that's extra shitty.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, Starlet Wild Bill Williams. That is now in here now. We're missing one more thing.
Interesting. Yeah. Leslie Florence.
No, honestly, that might be why he was kicked out as president. Maybe they know. Like, they only want a biological Roottree as the president.
Right.
Okay. We need one last thing. These have all been updates, but then there was new stuff, so we don't... This might be an update thing.
Yeah.
Okay, let's, this is fascinating to me.
I know, right?
Okay. Guys like us. Okay.
1953 comedy film. Okay, yeah. And then Leslie died a few years later in 1960.
Yeah.
When... Do we have a timeline for when Gwen married Wild Bill?
I don't think so.
It was after that movie came out. One of the movies came out. The one where she was a soldier's wife. I don't remember what it's called. Oh, Guys Like Us.
No, it was, no, Wild Bill Williams, not Roottree. All these damn names. It was Starlet, I think.
Wait, hang on. Can you just go back real quick?
Sure.
You come across a small mention of Wild Bill. A director who considered Wild Bill his friend was hired to make a small cameo in a war movie called Christmas Mission. Showed up drunk 3 days in a row and couldn't remember his lines. He also kept on hitting on an actress who was supposed to be doing a very somber series. Oh, okay, Christmas Mission. That was the movie where they met and he got dropped. Supposedly because the studio didn't want to pay for him, but probably because he couldn't stop coming to work drunk.
This is an updated one. You originally only found mention because on a site about movies that flopped during the height of Roottree Mania. It was announced Christmas Mission was slated to be released on VHS, but due to the mild reception that Guys Like Us received, and due to the fact that Christmas Mission was a flop to begin with, the release was canceled. I wonder if that was the last one.
What's the older version of that? I want to see what year it was released.
1955.
If it's possible. 55. Okay. So 53 was the movie where Gwen starred with Florence.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and 55 was where she met Bill.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, I mean, yeah, it's possible that Florence had a kid.
Yeah, because, it was in Starlet is where we saw that he had the... Yeah. Actually, do a favor. He was directing a war movie and asked me to play a small part. Wouldn't you know it? That son of a bitch cut me from the picture. Yeah. He met her in 55.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Robbie's guaranteed. I think you're right, Hillary. Robbie's guaranteed, but we just need confirmation. It's Huntington's for for Ron.
This got updated. Oh no, wait, this is still Wild Bill. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the post-Gwen death.
Mm-hmm.
Is Huntington's only inherited from a parent? You can't just spontaneously develop it?
I can go back and look. Yeah, you know what? Let's just do that. Okay. After symptom onset somewhere between age 30 and 50, those affected by Huntington's typically live another 15 to 18 years as their symptoms worsen. There is no cure. Huntington's is passed genetically from parent to child. The gene that causes Huntington's works in such a way that if a parent has the disease, there's a 50-50 chance that their child will get it. Okay.
Okay, so the only way a person could develop Huntington's is if their parent had it.
Well, now, okay, hold on. Ron Roottree.
Right. But I was just wondering if like somebody out of the blue could develop Huntington's, but it sounds like I'm talking to Loop in the chat.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, but it sounds like you have to have a parent, or it's something from a parent, not something that you can just develop.
What I want to know is, like, okay, he was announced as president of Roottree during the Roottree Rift. He would be in that window right now where he would start to show symptoms if he had it.
Yeah.
So that's why I want to know if there's anything about his health.
Right.
Article mentions that nobody from Roottree that they reached out to. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Timeline says that the family actually held a preliminary vote after Carl Roottree died, but before the release of 6 Pieces, and decided they wanted Ron Roottree to take over because of experience running RR Productions, and because he was a well-known and well-respected Roottree. But Ron seemed way too eager and personally motivated. They were worried he would gut the Clanset Trust to remove Robbie Roottree. The family was notoriously unwilling to do anything that could risk their wealth. They stalled, and Ron became frustrated with the delay. When 6 Pieces came out, he saw his chance to force action while his family was in the limelight and released the press release himself in an attempt to get the ball rolling faster. This caused chaos within the family. They tried to save face by allowing Ron to take over as co-president with Clark, but according to Business Watch's source, Ron was impossible to deal with. He seemed like he was unwilling to protect the Clanset Trust, and they eventually let him go. After that, the role passed solely to Clark, who nobody was excited about, but seemed like the safest choice. Yeah, have they done charity events? I thought they did, but I don't remember.
Yeah, let's look up Ron's wife.
His wife. Who was his wife? Tessa Green. Oh, that's right. Penelope Tessa Green. Alright. What am I doing?
I don't know.
I'm losing everything.
EL.
There we go.
There you go.
Tessa Green.
Ooh.
Tessa Green was part of it. Okay. Reached fundraiser at the Reno Club, the Laugh Lounge. Fundraiser called The Best Medicine and was helped to find a cure for Huntington's disease.
Oh.
According to the website, she released a statement. Up until recently, I didn't know anything about Huntington's. In the last few months, I've gone from knowing nothing about it to learning more than any one person should ever have to. Until less than a decade ago, it was impossible to predict if someone susceptible to Huntington's had the disease, but due to advances in medicine, tests have been developed. Hopefully, this increased awareness is the first step into finding a cure. Please join me for a night of comedy for a good cause.
Oof. Oof.
Yep, that's it.
She married a man with Huntington's.
Not a Roottree. Is a Roottree.
Oh, ironic.
Yeah.
Oof.
Okay. Now, the only things that we're missing here are the last 2 for this clown.
Yeah.
And then we're done. Also, like, we've identified. Oh, we have to click on ready.
Yeah.
But I want to get these last 2 things before we. Okay. All right. Because we're pretty much about to run over on time. Hill, can you look up what these last 2 things are? Because we're pretty certain we know what we're going into here.
Yeah.
Yeah, dig these, because I need to know, and I don't want to spend another 45 minutes slapping around at keywords, because he might be a Roottree, but we're not sure. Yeah, we're missing the last Courtney Mae Watts, and then all your problems. Hold on, Courtney